Good morning, my friends. Today I'm going to film a special video where I'll try to visit all the express roads in the central part of Algiers. So now I'm going to turn right and start with Ferdinand Hanafi Street. So this is Ferdinand Hanafi Street. It's one of the main roads here in Hussein Day. There is a neighborhood here on the left known as Mairie Soleil. There is a mosque. It has two minarets. It's over there. You can see it behind that tree. It's a pine tree. There is an elementary school here. Alright guys, so the purpose of this video is to show you all the express roads, or the expressways. We call them expressways. They are roads that are mainly wide and composed of two carriageways, just like motorways, but the difference between them and motorways is that they are located in the middle of the city. They are not as fast as motorways. I think that the maximum speed here is 40 or 50 or 60 kilometers per hour. You shouldn't exceed 60 kilometers per hour in these areas, otherwise it would be dangerous. Expressways are here in order to link major neighborhoods between them, and in order to link those neighborhoods, sometimes in order to link those neighborhoods to motorways. And they are okay, I mean, on days when there is no traffic, they are very practical, but when there is traffic, you know, they get cramped, they get congested. So much so that now Algiers drivers are trying to avoid them by using streets just like the one on the left here, using narrow alleys in order to try and avoid traffic as much as they can. Sometimes, no matter what you do, no matter which narrow alleys and shortcuts you take, it's to no avail. It's totally useless. Alright guys, so now we're going to start filming this street here, Ferdinand Hanafi. There is another elementary school here on the left. As you can see, Algiers has many primary schools, and this is part of Algeria's policy to have the whole national territory covered with schools, with primary schools, elementary schools, so that to make it easy for children to go to school without any problem. This is the Amirosh apartment complex and the Amirosh Square, and there is a subway station here. I've filmed it multiple times. The central part of Hussein Day is here on the right, and so as I said, there are many primary schools here in Algiers. In average, every municipality has 3 or 4 primary schools, and this is in order to make it easy for kids to go to school, because Algeria, right after its independence, pursued an active policy of alphabetization, literacy, of literacy, and in order to make it easier, Algeria opened schools and still continues to build schools. There is a beautiful square here on the right with beautiful flower beds, and this is the Zapata Square. Okay, let's film it around. There are those palm trees over there. This is the headquarters of the subway company here in Algiers. The Algiers subway company. It's their head office. There are all those trees and hedges, and such a beautiful thing. So now we're going to continue along this road. We're going to take that. Now, if you want to go to the eastern parts of the city, you take the right. We are driving down this road, which is an extension of the Ferdinand Hanafi Street. We have just entered the area of Al-Hamma. Expressways are here in order to help alleviate congestion here in Algiers. Of course, they are efficient because they are, I mean, they can accommodate lots of cars, but they are also because there are too many cars here in Algiers. The number of cars has increased significantly in the last 2 decades. Their efficiency has become limited. Alright, so now what we are going to do is take a section of the motorway in order to drive to our next expressway. We are going to enter the ALN Avenue. Be careful when you are overtaking these types of buses and trucks and vans. They are big vehicles, and you know, if they make any wrong move, you could pay a high price for it. The port of Algiers is on the right. The Hamma Garden, botanical garden, is on the left. Now we are headed straight to Algiers. Central Algiers. Tilibri is right ahead. It's over there. And we are in the area of Belouizdad, the municipality of Belouizdad, formerly known as Belcourt. And many people still call it Belcourt. You know, this is my second time filming this video. Last time I filmed it, I did it on an SD card, and that SD card was defective. It was only later that I painfully discovered that when I tried to upload the videos on the computer, I found out that the SD card didn't record anything. That's why I'm now using the internal storage, the phone's internal storage, in order to record this video. Now we are approaching the May the 2nd, the bus station. There is such a beautiful square here on the right with those statues. I think that they symbolize an Algerian family. So this is the May the 2nd bus station. This is the most important, or the largest bus station here in the city center. Now if you want to turn around and return to Hussinda, you take the left. Red light, we got to wait. Okay, there is no stop line here. Normally they should put a stop line so that drivers know where exactly to stop. Anyways, there are still 20 seconds left, and here you can see the entrance to the port on the right, and straight ahead there is a ramp that will lead you to the main post office, La Grande Poste, and I think that on the left there is a bus station for university students. Okay, great, green light, let's go. So there is a bus station here for university students, for university buses. There is a parking garage there. That colorful building on the left is a multi-story parking garage. There is a square here on the left. It's the Tefoura Square, where you can see a statue of Massinissa. Massinissa was the Numidian king who unified North Africa in the 2nd century BC. Now if you want to turn around, you take this turn here on the left. So as I said, Massinissa unified all the small kingdoms into just one big kingdom, and that was in order to resist foreign influence. And then he allied with the Romans in order to destroy Carthage, and later, after his death, he was succeeded by his sons, and then the Romans started to interfere more and more in North Africa's policy until in the early years of the early decades of the Christian era, the the last Numidian king was assassinated by Roman Emperor Caligula, and North Africa became a colony of of the Roman Empire. Now there is this train station here on the left. It's the central train station of Algiers. It's very old, and it's still in operation, of course. And if you want to go to Oran, you can catch the train from here, from this train station. And now we're in the area of Martyrs Square. Martyrs Square is on the left, where that mosque is located. Now we are in the area of the fishery. The fishery is on the right, and there are many stores here on the left that sell fish. Many people come here to buy fish at the cheap price, good fish at the cheap price. We are still in the area of Martyrs Square and the Kasbah, the city of, the old city of Algiers. There is a very beautiful museum here on the right, Bastion 23, Bastion 23, and there is a school academy here on the left, and there is this square here with a statue representing seahorses. Such a beautiful area to watch, to visit. And of course there is this balcony here on the right. There is a walkway here with plenty of benches where you can sit and watch the sea. It's just a beautiful place. I used to come here with my wife sometimes. In fact, I should visit this place more often with my family. There are rides on the right. There is a mini park, a mini amusement park there on the right. This area is, there is a street here known as Icosium Street. It's the old name the Phoenicians gave to Algiers more than 25 centuries ago. There is a high school here, the Frans Fanon High School, named after Frans Fanon, an activist who Alright, so Atlas, the Atlas Cinema is here on the left. It's a movie theater. And yes, Frans Fanon was an activist who was born in Martinique, which is a French colony. And he defended Algeria's independence during the war for the independence. He was a psychiatrist and a writer. So there is an amusement park here. We've just passed it. The amusement park is just temporary, by the way, okay? It's just temporary. It's installed here on the occasion of Ramadan, but I'm not sure, maybe because now it's Ramadan, and I don't know. I have never seen it there before. I drove this. I drove in this area just a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't see it. So I think that it's on the occasion of Ramadan that they installed it. So now they are fixing this area here. And if you have noticed, we have been running on main roads, on wide roads, expressways, since the beginning of this video. Okay, so on a weekday on a weekend day when there is no traffic, it would only, just look at this, guys, listen to this, it would only take you 13 minutes in order to drive from Hussein-Dey to this place here, practically from the eastern part of the city to the western part of the city, almost from end to end. You see, you can cross Algiers almost from end to end in just 13 minutes, and yet Algiers is a very big city. Just look on the map and you will see. Now this is where this expressway ends, and if you drive straight on, you will enter Emir Khalid Street. Just look at these flower beds here. They are such beautiful things to see. Flower beds everywhere in the area. It's such a nice thing to have in these neighborhoods. So now, as I told you, yes, Emir Khalid Street is going to lead you to the east, to the western parts of Algiers. On the seashore, it's a seashore road with a beautiful corniche. Now, what we are going to do is continue our trip down Algiers Expressways And now we are driving up the Idir Street. There is this hospital here. We call it the Mayo Hospital. It's the main hospital here in Bebloued. We have entered the area of Bebloued, and this hospital is officially known as the Lamine de Barin Hospital. If you want to go and visit the church, the Basilica, the Notre Dame Basilica, you take the right. And Idir Street. Okay, so now just look at that. We have left the wide section, the broad section of the road, to enter this narrower section here, and this is like the choke point of this area. You know, this road here, Saïd Touati Street. Saïd Touati Street is supposed to be a link between the expressway on the seashore, the one we have just left, where we saw the amusement park and everything, and Triolet and Frévalon Street, Frévalon Road, which is ahead of us. It's over there, where those white tents are at the end of the street. Okay, so it's supposed to be like this. This road is supposed to link the seashore expressway to this connecting road or highway of Frévalon. However, and because Saïd Touati Street is narrower, there is traffic there. Many cars seek to join this road here. They seek to join the Frévalon road. However, because of Saïd Touati Street, of the narrowness of Saïd Touati Street, there is a lot of congestion there. That's why I think that in order for the authorities to ease this situation, they need to widen Saïd Touati Street. Perhaps that they would even need to destroy buildings in order to do that. But you know, all this remains a reflection for the experts, for those experts who plan. Specialize in urban planning. They should figure out how to do that. And you know, my conviction as a driver and as a resident here in this city, as a resident who was born and raised in Algiers, largest city, is that even if they build wider roads everywhere, including by destroying buildings, I don't really think that it's going to be that efficient, because it's not, for the simple reason that the number of cars keeps increasing, and I think that it's going to increase even more, because now Algeria is going to restart manufacturing cars and importing cars as well, and because of that, more Algerians are going to have cars. Cars are needed, of course, and if this happens, Algiers will be even more congested. I can already feel it. I have been feeling it in the last 2 to 3 years. More and more, you can find traffic jams in more and more places where there weren't before, and that's why I think that the strategic solution, if the Algiers authorities want a strategic solution for this problem, they've got to develop public transport. They've got to develop collective transport. We need more buses, more make it more efficient. By the way, make it more efficient. Yes, more subway lines, more streetcar lines. So now I have just left the Frévalon road, and I have taken this road here that leads to the area of Bertraria, which is on the right, and City Perez, or the Perez apartment complex, which is on the left. And now we're taking this expressway here, because my purpose is to film you this expressway. The road we have just taken, the road we have just left, is a link. It's a winding road that links this road here to Frévalon, it's usually, I mean, there is usually no traffic in this area, in all of this area. Congestion starts again 200 or 300 meters away from here, in the area of. Now, if you want to return to Babylon, you take the left. So congestion starts again in Tagaran, in the area of the Horace Hotel, Bebstid, and the Ministry of Defense. There is a square there, and it's where congestion starts again. Because, okay, just look at this beautiful roundabout here. Just such a beautiful thing with these beautiful trees. As you can see, Algiers is becoming more and more beautiful. All these palm trees and, you know, hedges planted in dividers between carriageways. Pertara is on the right. If you want to visit it, I've already filmed a video about it on how to drive around it and use it as a shortcut. There is a stairway here that leads to Tagaran. We call it Tagara here in our local pronunciation. There is a balcony here on the left from where you can watch the area of Fontaine Fraîche. Okay. Now this is the area where there is traffic. Usually traffic, you know, in rush hour. Now, if you want to go to Algiers, you take the right, but we are taking the left in order to go to, I mean, in order to enter Frans Fanon Street. Remember the high school I showed you earlier in the area of Ketani, Novel Ketani, near the Atlas movie theater. So now there is a street known as Frans Fanon, named after the same author, after the same psychiatrist. And now there is a playground here on the left. This area here is known as Quatre Canons because in colonial times the French colonial authorities placed four cannons here in this area. This is the Wagenouni area. There is a stadium here on the left known as Wagenouni. It's a basketball and handball stadium. And now this is Tilimli. We're entering the Karim Belkacem Boulevard, one of the roads that could be used as a shortcut. Usually there is never traffic here, but you can encounter a traffic jam further away in the area of the Fine Arts School. Sanitation truck collecting garbage. There is a beautiful school here on the left, Warda School. Just look at the beautiful houses above us over there. Tilimri is one of the most beautiful neighborhoods of Algiers. There is a flag shop here. I once visited it in order to inquire about how much it would cost me to have a Western Saharan flag printed. It was a bit expensive. After that, I asked a friend of mine from Western Sahara to bring me one, and he did. And Hamoudi, if you are watching me, hello. I say a big hello to you and to all the people of Western Sahara. And I hope that you will, the Sahrawi people get their independence very soon, together with the Palestinian people too. Okay, so this is the Tilimli Bridge. The fence here, the colorful fence on both sides of the road is installed on the Tilimli Bridge. I have just crossed it. Underneath the bridge there is a building. Okay. The building is the bridge. The rooftop of the building is the bridge. And we call it the Tilimri Bridge. It's Okay, so the fence is there in order to prevent people from committing suicide, because back in the 1980s, and even before that, some people would throw themselves off. I mean, there were people who threw themselves off that building, off that bridge. Okay, so now the Sfinja Road, that's famous Sfinja Road, we usually use as a shortcut between this area and the Algiers, is here on the right, and we're still continuing to drive along Tilibli, or the Karim Belqasem Boulevard. Just look at this. On a weekday, 25 minutes are enough to tour the whole city. Karim Belqasem, there is a picture of Karim Belqasem here on the left. He was one of the leaders and the fathers of Algeria's war for independence. That's why, in order to pay homage to him, they named this boulevard after him. The Fine Arts School is on the right. There are two museums on the left: the Islamic Arts Museum and the Ancient Arts Museum. Now, if you want to go to Dindouche Morat, you take the left, and we are entering Franklin Roosevelt Street, named after the American president, the former American president Franklin Roosevelt, who supported Algeria's right for self-determination. And of course, Algeria never forgets people who helped it during the hard times. And now we are driving towards the Addis Ababa Square. You need to watch on the right for oncoming traffic. Cars coming down the Bugara Boulevard. And this is Addis Ababa Square, named after the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa. And of course, Algeria and Ethiopia have good relations, good diplomatic relations. Ethiopia being one of the very few African nations that were never colonized during the colonial era. Now, we have just entered Independence Avenue, which goes on further away, which is called Ali Millah, further down. So this upper part of this avenue is known as Independence Avenue, and then its lower part is Ali Millah. There is this area here with grass on the right, palm trees. So now I can say that Algeria has been taking care. I mean, Algiers, the Algiers authorities have been taking good care of the city in the last years. It's such a good thing. Although there is, I mean, they still need to do lots of things in order to make it even more beautiful. There is a garden here on the right. Now we're going to drive. Alright, so just look at this. We're leaving Ali Millah Avenue. We are re-entering the ALN Avenue, the motorway that led us to Central Algiers earlier. Thanks to this route here, I mean to the ALN Avenue, thanks to the Independence Avenue and Ali Millah, the Independence and Ali Millah Avenue, we can join this road in no time. There is generally no traffic, no congestion, even in rush hour, because during rush hour almost all major roads are crammed. Almost all major roads are congested, except for a few ones, including this one. This is one of the few routes that are not congested during rush hour, but the problem is that when you drive further away to Housinde, you would find congestion, and the problem is that there are more cars joining this road from various neighborhoods, from Cuba and Housinde. Now we're taking that ramp. We're taking this ramp here in order to enter the Housinde, the Ilhamma area, the Ilhamma and Housinde area. There is a college dorm here, around here, known as Revoil. There is a power station here on the left, a huge power station, power plant that provides electric power to all of Algiers and the neighboring provinces, the neighboring wilayas. So that building on the right is a college dorm. Now we're taking the underway we took earlier, but in the opposite direction. We are going to visit Cuba now. Via the Lisa Nasser connecting road. In fact, we are not very far from our departure point, and if I decided to go there, then I would complete my tour, my big tour of Algiers in just 40 minutes, I would say. So as you can see, you can visit all of Algiers in just 40 minutes. Isn't that spectacular? Now if you want to go to the Martyrs Memorial, you take the right. But we are driving straight on in order to visit Cuba via an express road known as Route Interquartier, or the Inter-Neighborhood Road. That road that's also commonly known here as Jolie Vue. It's one of the important commercial streets here in Algiers. The landscaping here on the right is such a beautiful thing. But there is a garden further away. This is the Lisa Nasser area on the right. Okay, so now this is our exit to go visit Cuba. Great. This is the Getty 2 apartment complex. Be careful when you are driving across this road here to go to this roundabout. Now, Jolie Vue or Route Intercity is straight ahead of us. Now the sun is high enough in our and it doesn't. Okay, there's a lady over there crossing the road, and not sure. Go ahead, go ahead. Don't waste time. All right, so because there were many cars coming behind me, and here they are. So she should make up her mind and cross the road. So Jolie Vue is a whole ahead of us. It's an express road that links Getty to Cuba. So this is the Jolie Vue road, officially known as the Inter-Neighborhood Road, and the name Jolie Vue is in fact the name of this neighborhood, and it means pretty view or beautiful view. So as I said, the sun is high now in the sky, and it doesn't disrupt us while we are filming. When I'm filming a video early in the morning and the sun is rising, it's over the horizon, it really affects the picture, and all you can see is sunlight, intense sunlight. But now it's 10 o'clock and it's 10 o'clock and it's okay to film. All we can see above the horizon is a beautiful blue sky. Okay, we've got to speed up a little bit here. We are driving in the direction of Cuba. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I hit a pigeon, you know. Such a bad thing. I hit one of the pigeons as it approached my car. I couldn't slow down more than I did. It's such a bad thing, you know. This is the first accident ever recorded on my channel. I'm so sorry for the pigeon, and I think that this is my first time hitting a pigeon in my whole life ever since I started driving long ago. It's such a sad thing. Okay, so the hospital, the Cuba hospital, is on the left. And now we are approaching the area of Cuba. So there was nothing I could do in order to spare the life of that pigeon. And it's such a sad thing, such an unfortunate thing that that I hit it. And This road here is the Ali bin Habilis road. Ben Omar bus station is here on the left. It's the main bus station here in Cuba. Those stands on the left are like a small fair, commercial fair for people to come and do shopping here. So Bas Jarrah is on the right. What we are going to do here is to drive down another express road connecting Cuba to the area of Bas Jarrah. Alright, so we're going to turn around here, take Tahir Al-Alam Street in order to join Bas Jarrah Road. The Cuba Stadium is on the left, and the Bin Haddad Mosque, one of the oldest mosques here in Cuba, is on the right. And now just look at this. There is a commercial area here. There is a street mall on the left. It's like a market in this area where most people come to do shopping, and that's why there is this congestion here. Usually there is traffic here. There are traffic jams here in this on this street, but once you pass this area, traffic is generally fluid. Okay. The police are here in order to tell people not to park by the stores over there. Otherwise, there would be, I mean, the traffic jam would be much worse than that. There is an apartment complex here on the left, known as the El Bahia apartment complex. Now I'm driving down Tahir Al-Alam Street in order to join the Bas Jarrah Road and finish this trip, this long trip that lasted 40 minutes. Fortunately, my phone didn't overheat. There were some clouds in the sky that helped me, especially when I was filming in Babluad. And now I'll have to overtake this car. Yes. Oh, okay. Failed attempt. Oncoming traffic. There is a dead end here on the right. All right. So there is the Cuba swimming pool is here on the left. And this area here is known as Dallas, or the Dallas apartment complex, City Dallas. Okay, so I usually use the road on the left in order to, as a shortcut when there is traffic here, because in rush hour there is always traffic here. It's always congested. That's why I use the street on the left as a shortcut in order to join this road, and this is the Bas Jarrah Road. This area here is known as Lotissement or Hay al Badr, and it's constantly affected by traffic, constantly. I mean, on weekdays especially, even outside of rush hour, by the way, even outside of rush hour. So I don't know what's wrong with this area, despite the fact that the road is wide. There are a lot of cars there. They use that area as an access point to the Binaknoon highway. So some cars cramming up that area are going to Bas Jarrah, whereas others are trying to leave the area of Bas Jarrah. and others are trying to leave all this area in order to go to in order to join the Benaknon highway. That explains why this area is so cramped with cars. And now there is traffic even here on weekdays, you know, even outside of rush hour. And of course these cars here are also you know, are also doing basically the same thing other cars are doing in Hayl Badr. Some of them are trying to go to Hussein and others are headed towards Kuba and Bash Jarrah and National Highway 5, the Benaknon Highway. That's why it's so cramped. And I wish there was an easier, I mean, a closer exit to the motorway from here. One of the problems of this very area is that all exits or entries to motorways are far. That's why there are many cars here. I mean, when many drivers here in this area attempt to go to a motorway, they create traffic jams. So a good solution for this area is to try and build some bridges or whatever, or perhaps new connecting roads in this area in order to let drivers join motorways and exit this area more easily, in an easier way, without having to pass through the lotissement area. Okay guys, so we have just returned to our departure point. It took us how much? Yeah, 46 minutes in order to tour all of Algiers via its express roads here in the central parts of the city, and some western parts of it, because Bab el Oued is located in the west of Algiers. I hope that you found this video useful and entertaining. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Visit Algeria, visit Algiers in particular. Drive carefully and take care of yourselves, and goodbye.